Hello Libra, Ashley here. We're going to do your wrap-up reading for April. This one's going to be a little bit different because we're going to focus on the eclipse that's happening in the sign of Taurus on the 30th of April, I guess depending on where you're located on the planet. I like this. So we're going to look at what you're releasing at the time of the eclipse and what's coming in and just the overall theme itself. And you've got an interesting mix of cards here. I'm using 3 different decks here, and what you're releasing is the Explorer, which for me feels like you've just been doing a lot of exploration, right? Kind of trying to gain new knowledge. Maybe you've just been kind of in this adventurous sort of energy, meeting new people, going new places. It could be a mixture of different things for everyone watching, right? But then what we're coming into, we have self-exploration in the reverse. So it's almost kind of like you're taking everything you've learned and you're turning it inward to kind of have a little bit more understanding of yourself. And then overall, we have this theme of realization. So it's kind of funny because I've already filmed Gemini, right? But it looks to me like the air signs are having this very interesting like turning inward. And I don't mean like you're going into hermit mode and you're not gonna be social anymore or something. It's just kind of like we're having some self-realization, some awakenings within the self for these air signs so far. So I'll be excited to see what shows up in the tarot and clarifying, get some more details as to what this kind of looks like. Now again, you're going to have to apply this to your own situation because this eclipse is going to bring up some different things for everyone when it comes to the details, but the theme here is really the takeaway, I would say. So be sure to check your other placements. You might get some additional information from those as well. So rising sign, moon sign might be helpful. And yeah, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, just keep in mind that this is just the tail end of April. We're just getting an idea around this eclipse for you. This eclipse, or eclipses in general, tend to cause change for 6 months or more. So this is just an overall snapshot. It's not going to give you every detail of what's showing up for this eclipse, okay? So let's see, Libra. We have the Queen of Wands, some Leo energy, Ace of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. 3 of Swords, Justice. So there you are, right at the center of your own spread here. And for me, that means you're definitely strong in your own energy here. You're definitely in a place of power, right? And the 7 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, the Devil, and the 5 of Swords. It looks to me like you might be discovering some ways in which you have maybe held yourself back here. Definitely having some looks at your own shadow side here, for sure. For some of you, this isn't, sorry, I'm trying to, like, these are all off kilter, I feel like. And I want to have space for our cards when we clarify. It could be that you've really had some time where you focused on a particular what am I trying to say here? So for some of you, if you've been through some sort of issue, some sort of disappointment, now this could be in a relationship, could be in any area of life, right? Something that's really knocked your confidence. And it does feel like something you've really put a lot of time and effort into. And something about it didn't work out. It does feel like it's almost like you've wrung the sponge dry when it comes to investigating that particular thing and really getting a good understanding about that particular thing. But it looks to me like now you're starting to look at how you contributed to that situation. Whether it was like things that you might have done to cause an ending or a disappointment, but more so what I feel like it's like, did you allow this into your space? And that's what you're finding, right? I hope that makes sense. So it's not like, I'm not saying that you did something wrong here, Libra. It just feels like maybe you're starting to see how you had mental blocks in place or something that also contributed to the problem, right? Bottom of the deck, 6 of Wands, King of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. So for some of you, this was like a long-term connection that may have either ended, or there was at least some sort of disappointment that came up in this, where it feels like something failed. Now, that's not the reality of it, right? I don't feel like we have failures. I feel like things happen and we learn from them, right? So, with the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles, you could be dealing with a Taurus, but it does feel like some sort of longer-term commitment. So again, whether this was a job or a marriage or just a long-term relationship, there's something about it where maybe you didn't feel like it came to its full potential or something along those lines. We're going to clarify and see what this is really about. But I do feel like it kind of messed with your confidence, right? So in this position here, we're looking at what's being released. So you could see this as like the Scorpio area of the eclipse, because we have Scorpio and we have Taurus, and they're on opposite sides of the zodiac. And the North Node is in Taurus and the South Node is in Scorpio. So we're moving into the Taurus areas of our chart, and we're releasing certain aspects to the Scorpio parts of our chart. So, and that's how these eclipses come to be. We have the North and South Node in those signs, and that's where we have our eclipses for the year and a half, right? So I see this first row as what you're releasing. So this could be related to the Scorpio area in your chart. Let's see. Queen of Wands. We have the Lovers. And the Tower. So it does feel to me like there's been some sort of shocking situation when it comes to a deep soul connection here. But it feels like a knock to your confidence. For some of you, though, this is like someone shows up in your life and it's something that you attracted in, and it just really shakes some things up for you. Like just their arrival is a bit of a shake-up. With the Three of Swords, we have the Ace of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles. And with the Eight of Pentacles, we have Judgment, and the Five of Pentacles. So I do feel like someone at some point in this dynamic decided to stop working on this. And it may have felt like a rejection. It knocked your confidence. It seemed like the absolute dream come true dynamic or person had come into your life, And it made you feel really good about yourself. It made you feel really good about this person. And then there was just like something just like blew up. And it does feel like you've been spending a lot of time trying to understand this. Like, why did this happen? Maybe there was a third party situation that got involved or in the way in some way. That doesn't have to mean cheating. It could just be that someone stuck their nose in where it didn't belong and sort of influenced your person in some way. Could have been a work romance for some of you. And it does feel like it really was a test to your personal mastery of self. And I feel like it was that case for the other person here as well. Like, when we get the Lovers, I mean, that's a pretty big connection. To me, that's stronger than just a soulmate. This is like a destined happening, right, between you and another soul. And oftentimes, a connection that strong can be very triggering, right? It brings up some of those insecurities and shadow sides. Because it is such a true connection, anything that's false really shows up and gets in the way, if that makes sense. So it does feel like this is something you want to work on, or it's something that you did put a lot of work into, and it still somehow ended in feeling like rejected, cut off, shut out. Maybe you weren't chosen over someone else, but ultimately it feels like it happened very quickly, this change. And so it was like, had a huge shock factor to it. There was something though about the foundation between you and this person that wasn't built in truth though. So, and I do feel like it's caused a lot of drama, a lot of stress, and a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of fretting here, right? So we're looking at what's coming in here now, and this is the self-exploration aspect of things. So it's kind of like you've been looking at the relationship itself and what happened. Maybe you've been looking at the other person, what the heck was going on. Now you're looking at yourself here. We have the Two of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Five of Swords. This feels uncomfortable here. It feels uncomfortable to have to look at the self. I'm not sure what is showing up just yet to instigate this sudden self-reflection. And that's not to say you haven't been reflecting on yourself, but this feels deeper. It feels like it goes way deep. Let's see. With the Two of Pentacles, well, we have the Hermit, so there's that really deep self-reflection. It's like when it's looking at that Two of Pentacles, we have the Six of Cups. It could be that there has been another, again, for some of you, there's a choice here. You have this deep soulmate connection, and then there was, like, for some of you, this energy of maybe a third party that kind of got in the way. Now, whether that happened on your side or the other person's side, you decide. If that does not apply to you, it feels like what you're really trying to look at is maybe one more on that Two of Pentacles. We're looking at whether or not do we invest and work on this, and do we walk away? And part of what's coming into question when we're looking at this person, it's not just the fact that we've been through a rough time with this particular soulmate connection, which is kind of what would give you pause about going back into it. But there's another layer here. It's like there's also this consideration of, am I ready to really work through the karma that is coming into play with this kind of connection, because it's going to force that self-exploration, and that's a lot of work, right? So, and you might have already picked up on that when things were going really well with this person. There were still like sudden like insecurities that would come up and bubble up to the surface. It could be that the connection was very passionate, and so, you know, sometimes tempers would flare. I mean, there's definitely a feel of karma that's being played out in that. And so I feel like what's kind of being looked at here is whether or not you want to go there, right? Because it could be with judgment here that this person has tried to come back in, or you've been considering reaching out to this individual to give it another go. But I do feel like that's part of what you're evaluating, especially here with the Seven of Pentacles. It's like, do I want to put the time and effort into this? Is it going to be worth it? Yeah. Do I want to give this my energy? And can we get it to a place that is balanced? And we have the Hierophant. So again, we saw that at the bottom of the deck. It definitely feels like a connection that had the potential or was already to this very high level of commitment. And it looks to me like you're just trying to determine if it's something you want to give to. Because it is such a deeply spiritual connection that will teach you some lessons. And sometimes those aren't pleasant, right? So with the Five of Swords, we have the Four of Wands. So you're definitely conflicted about this. You might be thinking about this quite a bit. But this is what's coming in on this eclipse. It's like you're going to be pressured. Look at the Five of Swords again. You're going to be kind of feeling a pressure to make a decision about what to do about this. Yeah. And I feel like there's a potential it's because this person comes back. I do feel that pretty strongly for most of you, so it's going to immediately throw you right up into your head and put you in kind of a worried energy. Let's look at this overall theme. We have the Realization card. It's like this key. You can see this big keyhole here. So there's some sort of dawning awareness or understanding that kind of lightens things up, I feel like. Ace of Pentacles, Justice, and the Devil. Now for some of you, we've got Scorpio, Gemini, Leo, more Scorpio, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, and it could even be another Libra. So take that as it resonates. With the Ace of Pentacles, I mean, you could certainly be dealing with a Capricorn. We're getting the Devil again. Like, the temptation around this is definitely strong as well. And the Chariot. It could also feel like someone in this dynamic has more power than the other person. And I'm not saying that that's the reality. It might just feel that way. So you might feel like this person has a power over you, or vice versa. There might be this temptation in the dynamic to try to control things. Like perhaps, for example, this person is offering to reconcile and recommit because they don't want you to be with anyone else, right? So there's a little bit of a control dynamic to it. So apply that as you see fit, but there's definitely something here about control. And I'm not surprised to see that. Devil and the Lovers, I mean, it's just kind of par for the course until that karma is worked through, right? And there is some deeper self-exploration and realization that happens. So I actually really like this reading for you, Libra, though it can be an uncomfortable situation, right? With Justice, we have the Ace of Swords. I definitely feel like you're seeking truth. And the Three of Wands. And you might be waiting for this as well. But this feels like that realization moment as far as how things could expand into the future in a more balanced way. And it could also be that you're still trying to evaluate here before this realization happens. It's like you're kind of looking to the future and looking at, is this person the best person to walk with into the future? And it's like you're trying to be logical about it, because I definitely feel like there's a strong cord between you and this person. I do feel like there is a strong cord between the hearts. So there is genuine love here. However, I'm also feeling like it is in the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, the sexual chakra. So there's an intense draw here sexually and passionately, and there's also this intense like power play going on here. Let's get this devil clarified as well. The Magician and the Ace of Pentacles. So this person is definitely trying to make this happen, make this new beginning possible. We've got this very interesting Capricorn Cancer polarity here, which is also two opposing signs in the zodiac. So you might be dealing with someone that has stronger Capricorn and Cancer, or maybe you have Cancer, they have Capricorn, something like that. Because there's definitely like this opposites attract kind of thing going on here. It feels like twin flame, if you ask me, but that's, of course, if you believe in that. But it does feel like there can be a little bit of a manipulative energy within this dynamic as well. And I think what you're really wanting and what is showing up at this eclipse is this truth, this realization of some of these things. That perhaps you both have a hold on one another, and perhaps there are some aspects to this connection that are toxic, that we're playing out old wounds and karma that we really need to look at. And I think what you're going to find is you're going to take this dive into those things within yourself. And if you are dealing with your mirror soul, your twin flame, your counterpart here, that's going to push them to do it as well, right? Because I actually feel like you both want to make this happen, but there's some parts to this dynamic that aren't quite worked through just yet. Like they need some shadow work, right? And so there could be this kind of awareness here that's showing up. And again, self-exploration and exploration. It's kind of like this mirrored thing going on here. So definitely a strong connection you've got going on. I hope that was helpful for some of you out there. And if not, of course, check your other placements. But it does look like some deeper shadow work could be the ticket to bringing this back together in a healthy way, in a balanced way, in a more spiritually evolving way, if that's what you want, right? So I will see you next week. We're going to look at May, the overall themes of May, and I hope to see you there. Bye.